Mm. Okay, go ahead.
Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now that I have come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual meaning.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Okay, hold on. Mm. Okay, last time I think that we stopped at the we learned about the model of the Buddhist psychology, the second one, right? And we stop at the determination. You remember this model? The
Yes,
five particular state model.
yes,
And the first one is the desire. The second one is the determination. The third one is the mindfulness. The fourth one is the concentration, and the fifth one is the wisdom. Um, okay, hold on. All right. So, you understand the meaning of each one?
yes,
Can you we try to review a little bit?
yes. Okay. So these come into play after it's the five universe. So there's the five
Mm,
universal interactives,
right. That have to be positive, right?
right? The desire at the end of that, the choice has to be positive. And so the desire is the intention. And maybe we could think of that like the string of a beaded necklace, so
Mm-hmm.
that it kind of runs through the rest of these five particular states because it sets the stage, it's the intention. Um, so if it has to be positive in the sense if we have some sort of conflict, it's not just, I want to come out from this conflict the winner, but it's like we want there to be a peaceful outcome where on the other side that anybody involved in the conflict is able to like let go of it and move on and have happiness and feel uh you know considered and that the outcome is fair.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and because we give rise to selfish thoughts automatically, the next elements become important as well. Like we have to really set a determination that we're going to work for that desire. Because just the desire alone, if it arises and then it's not really like anchored in as like we're
What is
determined,
the end result of the desire? What is the desire? What is the purpose of the desire?
so that the situation is resolved in a way that benefits everybody there. So we could look at it as like not having negativity between the people that are in the interaction. So
Mm.
that at the end of the interaction, everybody is like cleared of any ill will or anger towards each other, but so that natural sort of harmony and peace and good feeling can flow.
Uh-huh. Um, so basically, the Buddha always focused on the loving kindness and compassion, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you see that right now the war going on between Ukraine and Russia or Israel or Hamas.
Mm-hmm.
Not only one day, right? It's been there for a long time. It have been rooted so long, and the resentment, the hatred within them it's so strong. And of course um it's not easy to understand how to practice the loving kindness and compassion. And they're not easy to have a method to practice as well, right? So without the Buddha teaching, the instruction from the Buddha, there ain't no way. I don't know how they be able to practice the loving kindness and compassion. Maybe they know by word, but they don't know by the practice, right? That means love and kindness come from the word, but it not come from the method, come from the practice, because they do not have the dharma to practice. That is the most important of all. So and especially the hatred between the two, right? Whatever the two entity is, it could be between two people or between two countries, between two groups or whatever, right? That is not easy to resolve without a method, without the proper teaching. Um, and that the whole idea of the Buddhism is to practice Buddhism. That means we practice the love and kindness, to develop the love and kindness and the compassion. This is what we call the bodhicitta. Right?
Mhm.
And sometimes it's even though the people who treat us really badly, and it's not easy to not have any ill will against them. Not easy. It's very tough because we if we are not we not do not practice the mindfulness or awareness of our own thought. It's not easy to recognize. One the hatred it uh it it dwell within our heart and our mind. Oh my goodness, those things will control us. It will tear. It will destroy us and all. Well, when we go to war or we do any kind of fighting, do you think anyone win? Is there any victory?
In general, no. I mean, relatively, we may be able to make some distinctions about like, okay, well, if the Nazis had won, would things be worse than if they were defeated? But it would be better if there was never any war at all. So definitely, war or no war is obviously better.
So the victory, right? They will live in peace or they will live in um, uh, fear. What do you think?
I mean, we were just watching the a documentary on World War II.
Mm,
And so in that example where like the Nazis were defeated, and in this case Japan was part of it too.
mm,
Now like there since then there wasn't any sort of more conflict from Germany or from Japan with the rest of the world. So in that example, it seemed like the defensive war of like against these like these powers that rose up and were just trying to take over other places for more power. Like it seemed that it was like if it hadn't been done, there probably would have been a lot more suffering.
mm,
But it would have been better if the Nazis never did what they did, or Japan didn't jump in as well. It would have been better to just not have war at all. They just be happy with what they already had, because it led to the deaths of so many people. It's just terrible. So it's tough once like an evil actor decides to start a war. I think it's tough to not get drawn into violence unless you're like willing to give everything up, like in the case of the Tibetans, where they just, left Tibet and no longer had a place. And they weren't really equipped to defend themselves anyways against China. Like they
Mm,
wouldn't have even had a chance if they'd wanted to. But
mm.
that's the only example I can think of where like people just philosophically decided not to like fight back even for defense.
Do you know the Buddhism in India? It disappeared. Do you
Isn't
notice
that
that?
because there are like a couple things, but I know Islam had a lot to do with it. There
No.
was a lot of violence against Buddhists. But then I think Ty had also said the some of the monks at that time had become very relaxed in keeping the guidelines.
Yeah.
And so
Mm.
respect was kind of draining away because of that.
Mm. Um, and yeah, in the 12th century, they're the one who came in and they whenever they see the monk who wear the yellow robe, they thought that it's some kind of military special military truth, right? They killed them all.
Mm,
And you know what? They burned Islamic. They burned the Nalanda University. The University of Nalanda is, you know what? When they burned it, it took about 2 weeks to be able to burn everything off.
wow.
Mm. Yeah. Um, but the good thing about, well, bad and good is, well, in Buddhism, we just like the Buddha teaching, it's just like the water. It can flow anywhere, right? If it over here doesn't work, they go elsewhere. See, that's why we don't carry on any resentment against them. And you will we in Buddhism, there is no such thing called the holy war. That makes sense. If you are holy, there is no such thing called war. War only comes from the common people, not from the Holy One, right? So in
Yeah.
Buddhism, we never have any kind of calling the Holy War. They only come from the common people, right? So
Mm,
and that well, due to the Buddha teaching, they be able the Sangha at that time be able to see it and let go. Don't hold on any kind of resentment. And therefore, you don't see any violence after that against the Muslim, right?
mhm.
And you don't see any kind of religion fighting against each other in terms of Buddhism. But nowadays, this crazy happen in the Burma, right? And that is really sad because the politicians in Burma, uh, they they are the one who manipulate the religion in terms of politics. That is sad, right?
Yeah.
And the common people, well, they are poor and they don't have a good chance to learn the Dharma in the right way. And therefore, they easily been manipulated. And that's really sad. We don't want that happen to even though the Muslim people in the Burma, because we doesn't matter who they are, doesn't matter where they come from, which religion they come from. We are human, and we don't want that, right? When we hurt someone, we hurt ourselves. This is truly when we have any anger or hatred against others, then that means our body mind will be damaged, right? It greatly damaged. Of course, when we harm them, we harm ourselves. Why should we do that? So anyway, so that's the only thing I see in Buddhism nowadays. It does happen in Myanmar, right? They call Myanmar.
Hmm.
That is one of the sad things that we don't want that in terms of Buddhism.
Yeah.
But beside that, everything in the past, there is no such thing called holy war in terms of Buddhism. Yes, we have a lot of many different they call the the disaster come to the Buddhism, right? In India, in China, when and under certain king, they are the some of the king do not uh, respect the Buddhism, and they have the hatred arrive within them. They are the one who destroy Buddhism temple and here and there. But you know what? We still do not hold any resentment against them, even nowadays in China. So that's why I think I heard someone say that the um, the congregation, I think they call it religion congregation, and they also admit that the Buddhism is one of the peaceful religion in the world. Well, that at least we feel very proud of, right?
Hmm.
That is very proud. We feel that we be a part of the good religion. But it doesn't mean that all the religion is bad. No. In Buddhism, we have good and bad. The same thing with other religion. In other religion, they do have good and bad as well, right? So, we can not say that okay, Buddhism is good, but other religion is bad. No, 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 that doesn't work that way. And that's why if we do that, then we create war, right? We will create conflict and war. Of course, we don't do that. We don't want to do that. Just in our family, right? In each family, we have a good uh, parent also have both good and bad, right? Children, not normal. The same thing. Religion, it's a big religion. It's a big, right? It's a big population. And of course, they have good and bad as well. So we have good apple and we also have bad apple. Not normal. So it's okay. Um, so the whole idea to learn this kind of model is we know how to develop our loving kindness and compassion toward the one who harm us. This is the whole idea of learning. And that's why we be able to develop the bodhicitta in the right way. Because nothing can compare to the bodhicitta. It's the ultimate in the Mahayana teaching. So that's why, yes, it's not easy to, when we deal with the situation, right? It's not easy to accept it. But because when we understand the Mahayana teaching in terms of bodhicitta, we naturally be able to accept the situation and we move on without any detach. Try not to detach because we still are common people. But with the common people, we try to have the bodhicitta heart and bodhicitta mind. And it will make us not to be the common. Does it make sense? You see?
Yes, I.
So so we will not label any one or any religion is bad or good. Everything is they do have both good and bad. Okay. All right. So the whole idea, the desire, yes, we want to have a good outcome. That the whole idea
Mhm.
from the conflict. Doesn't matter what kind of conflict. And the determination, from the determination, we be able to see the the bad side of the thing that we deal with. For example, we are dealing with the hatred, right? We can see the bad side of that from the Buddha teaching. And we also see the good side of the opposite, the one is for the counter, to counter the hatred or whatever the thing that we deal with. So we learn the method how to counter, right? So,
Mhm.
so the determination based on the Buddha teaching, based on what we understand from Buddha teaching, we be able to see good and bad. And therefore, we have the right view and the right contemplation. And that make the determination to be strong. Right? And since we have and the next one is that means the determination is build the for good foundation, right? Good foundation. That's what we understand from the Buddha teaching. And therefore, and the next one is the mindfulness is what do you know? What do you understand about mindfulness?
That one analogy I think that's helpful is the idea of the like a guard standing at a gate, noticing as people are going in and out, not not stopping people as they're going in and out, but taking note to see if there's, you know, well, the guard would be looking for suspicious activity, but in our mindfulness, it's so that we're not automatically identifying with content. The being being mindful of it ensures that we don't identify with it as ourself. So an example is like if a feeling of anger arises after we've already, set our desire and our determination, if we can be mindful of that anger, not in the sense that we don't want to have to push it down and we
Mm,
don't want to have to identify with it and then be stuck with it, but to acknowledge it and let it exist like we would let a wind exist or like
mm,
it's raining or it's whatever. It's there and we can be mindful of it in the setting of the fact that it's impermanent, that
mm,
that it's empty, that grasping onto it will cause suffering, that it refers to something which is an illusion, that there's no self. So if I'm angry over insult to myself, well, the root to that anger is actually an illusion. There is no true foundation for that anger because the self that was insulted doesn't really exist.
that's really good. So, Taoism, right? One time the Tao, that means the Holy One is he said that the difference between the intelligent, knowing order is intelligent, but knowing yourself is wisdom. You understand the difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which one is easy to do?
Yeah, I think we kind of study our environment. We're naturally externally focused.
Yeah, we easily try. Well, knowing order is more easier than know yourself
Mm-hmm.
because we always go out, right? Go toward the external instead of internal. Um, and the people who are known order, why they make them intelligent? Because they manipulate order. That's why intelligent, not all intelligent people is a good people. Because if the intelligent have no morality. They are very evil, just like Putin. Yeah, that tough. And so when we, yeah, just like you say, mindfulness is aware of our own thought, right? Our own emotion. When it's arrive, we aware of it. This is called mindfulness. Otherwise, usually when we always look outside, right? When someone harm us or try to accuse us for anything or yell at us, we always look at them and listen to the voice. We always look outside. We never aware of our own emotion. And when we be able to aware of our own emotion, and we'll be able to the tension of the anger or whatever, right? At the beginning, it's very strong, right? But when we have the right mindfulness, and that means we see within we see our own emotion, all right? And that strength of the anger will be decreased or even disappear rapidly. That is the magic. But the key here is at that moment, we have to be very sharp and very quickly to recognize. Otherwise, the anger will take over, right? And no place for the loving kindness to be there.
Mhm.
That tough, that tough. And just like you say, the more we aware, right? The more we be able to transform ourselves, the self. We will make the self to be diminished, right? To make it disappear eventually. Most of the people in the world who fight each other, war or whatever, come from the self, the ego. And the I or the self of the person A and the I or the self of the person B, they both have the I or the self. You know what happened when they collide? What happened?
Conflict. If they're, if one person is in the way of what another person wants.
And that means both will be damaged, right? Even though, yeah, they are one side can claim themselves to be the victory, but the victory in term of suffer, in term of self damage. And what kind of victory is that? Just like the Ukraine and Russia, they destroy. They just like they are the one who make the Ukraine area to be flat. What kind of a victory is that?
Yeah.
And you know what? And now Ukraine they think about to attack inside the Russia. So
Mm.
what kind of victory is it?
Yeah. It's a crazy choice to do that.
So but one we be able to look within ourselves and to make this one to be more strong, to be more awareness, we need to learn, we need to memorize, remember the conduct, um, uh, practice, the practice from the Buddha or from the Bodhisattva or order, right? They've been practiced. So we can be able to use that to uh, help ourselves, right? To be more awareness, because sometimes it's not easy to have the mind of awareness. because our mind always busy or occupied by the evil force, right? Quickly when we in that situation. So this kind of the story that the Buddha practiced with forgiveness or patience or whatever, and we be able to learn from it, and we be able to use this kind of story to help us to develop to let go, right? To let go the easily to let go the hatred and to have the open mind and to have the mind of forgiveness and to be able to practice the patience, just like the Buddha of Bodhisattva have practiced in the past.
Mhm.
So let's see this story.
One day, Buddha decided to go away for a little while. He asked his chief disciples like Ananda, Shariputra, and others to stay back at the monastery while he ventured out on his own.
We listened to this one
It
last
was
time.
most unusual because
Are you ready to listen to this one?
Yeah, we did this one last time.
Oh, okay. So it is very beautiful, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, let me see, I gotta recall the whole story. This triggers my memory that we did listen to it. So he went walking by himself, and who did I can't remember exactly how the story went.
Okay, we can watch one more time. Maybe
Okay.
not that long.
generally wherever Buddha went, he was accompanied by his devotees and disciples, who doted on him and revered him more than their own lives. They always wanted to be around to behold his beautiful form, to listen to his tranquil words, and above all, just to serve him. But this time, Buddha instructed them not to follow him until he said otherwise. Exploring new places, as he walked from one village to another, many people did not recognize him. They didn't think he was Gautama Buddha, because there was no entourage, there was no crowd. He was wandering like any other monk, discreet and alone. On the way, Buddha approached a man for his alms. The man, however, was distraught and livid, for his only cow had just died a few minutes ago. In a fit of rage, he began shouting at Buddha and hurled abuses at him. The sage kept quiet and walked away, but a villager close by felt the unmistakable presence of Buddha and recognized him. He pacified the abuser and said, "Don't you know who he was?" "What do I care?" the man said. "No, you should. He was Tathagata, the Buddha himself." "What are you saying?" the man exclaimed. "It's not possible because he always has a large crowd following him. Where are his disciples?" "That I don't know, but I can tell you that he was Buddha. I've heard he's traveling on his own for the next little while." The man was guilt-ridden and decided to find the sage so he could beg his pardon. The next day he traced him and fell at his feet. "Forgive me, O sage," he said. "I am really ashamed for calling you names. Please punish me so I may be purified." "Punish you for what?" Buddha spoke calmly. "For swearing at you, my lord." "When did you say that?" "Yesterday," he said. "I don't know yesterday," Buddha said. "I know only today." You see, in life, the hardest of all human emotions is forgiveness. The most difficult human emotion to experience and act upon is forgiveness. It is the pinnacle of spiritual attainment, next to compassion. This story of Buddha has a very important message for all of us. We often hold on to grudges in our lives. When we do this, we are giving strength to our emotions of anger, grief, jealousy, and sadness, hence making them stronger. We create a whole story around why we are experiencing these emotions. Instead, we should understand that life in itself is constantly changing. We make it harder by blocking our emotions and letting them get stuck. By practicing forgiveness, we are allowing these emotions to move through us. The key to forgiveness is to show compassion and understanding for the other person. Understand that if you were them with their life experience and genetics, you would be doing the same thing. Find the part of yourself that you can recognize in the other person. This is most important. And at the end of the day, just let go. This is Dare to Do Motivation Stories. Thanks for watching and stay blessed.
Okay, so yeah. So you remember this story, I guess?
Yes, partway in, once I was trying to remember who he ran into, and then it was like, oh, yes, the rude person.
Okay. All right. Today I have to take care of one of the event soon. So let we stop short today.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, sorry. So it's okay. All right. Let's stop right here.
May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise.
Okay. Thank you, William.
Thank you, Ty.
See you next week. Yeah.
All right, I'll see you next week.